Most people look for signs outside. They search in words, messages, promises, and coincidences. But the universe does not shout. It whispers. And if you are silent enough, disciplined enough, present enough, you will feel it before you understand it. When the universe wants you to be with someone, it does not create chaos. It creates clarity. You feel calm, not desperate. There is no chasing, no convincing, no force. Things align without effort. Meetings happen naturally. Conversations flow without performance. You are not trying to be seen. You are simply seen. One sign is peace, not excitement, not anxiety. Peace. Your nervous system relaxes in their presence. You do not need to prove your worth. You do not shrink or expand. You remain centered. When you leave, you feel more yourself, not less. Another sign is timing. You may meet at a moment when you are both ready to grow, not to escape. The universe does not unite two people to hide from pain. It brings them together to face it with strength. When the time is right, resistance fades. Obstacles fall without battle. When the universe wants you to be with someone, the first thing it gives you is not excitement. It gives you peace. This is important because most people confuse intensity with truth. They believe love must be loud, dramatic, overwhelming. But the universe works in a quieter way. It removes confusion before it adds connection. Where there is alignment, the mind settles. The heart slows down. The body relaxes. You stop asking endless questions because something inside you already knows. Confusion is a sign of inner conflict. It happens when desire is fighting intuition. You want something, but your system does not feel safe with it. That is why the mind keeps spinning. You analyze every word, every delay, every change in tone. You feel pulled and pushed at the same time. This is not alignment. This is attachment mixed with fear. The universe does not build unions on fear. It clears fear first. When peace arrives, you notice it immediately if you are paying attention. You do not feel the need to chase clarity. You do not need constant reassurance. Silence does not scare you. Distance does not threaten you. You trust the connection even when nothing is happening. This is because peace is not created by the other person. It comes from harmony between your inner state and the situation in front of you. With the right person, there is no performance. You are not acting stronger, smarter, calmer than you are. You do not hide your stillness or exaggerate your energy. You can sit in quiet and feel complete. The nervous system recognizes safety. That recognition is ancient. It does not lie. When the body relaxes, the mind follows. This is why peace is the first sign. Another thing you notice is that decisions become simple. You are not torn between staying and leaving. You are not negotiating your self-respect. You are not lowering your standards to keep the connection alive. When peace is present, choices feel clean. Even difficult conversations do not create inner chaos. You speak from stability, not from fear of loss. Peace also changes how you handle uncertainty. The future is never guaranteed, yet with alignment, you are not desperate to control it. You allow things to unfold. You let time do its work. You understand that what is meant to grow does not need force. Confusion demands answers now. Peace allows patience. Many people miss this sign because they are addicted to emotional noise. They think calm means boring. They think stability means lack of passion. But real passion does not disturb the mind. It sharpens focus. It strengthens discipline. It gives energy without stealing clarity. When the universe aligns two people, it does not scatter their attention. It brings them back to themselves. Peace also reveals itself after interaction. Pay attention to how you feel when you leave their presence. Are you lighter or heavier? More grounded or more anxious? Do you feel expanded or drained? Alignment leaves you whole. Even longing feels clean, not painful. Confusion always leaves residue. Peace leaves strength. Sometimes peace shows up even when the connection does not last. This is important to understand. The sign is not that you will be together forever. The sign is that in their presence you are guided back to balance. Some people are meant to walk with you for a season to teach you how peace feels, so you never accept confusion again. If you are constantly unsettled, if your intuition is shouting, if your body feels tight, the universe is asking you to pause, not to push. Silence is information. Discomfort is guidance. Peace is confirmation. Do not chase intensity. Do not romanticize confusion. Become still enough to recognize peace when it arrives, because when the universe wants you to be with someone, it will not confuse you. It will calm you, and that calm is the sign you were meant to trust. When the universe wants you to be with someone, effort does not disappear, but it changes its nature. It stops feeling heavy. It stops feeling like work you must force yourself to do. Instead, it becomes a natural expression of who you already are. Many people misunderstand this. They hear that love should not require effort, and they assume alignment means passivity. That is not true. Alignment means effort flows without resistance. Forced effort is easy to recognize. It drains you. You overthink what to say. You measure your responses. You calculate your availability. You give more than you have, hoping the imbalance will correct itself. This kind of effort is driven by fear. Fear of losing, fear of not being enough, fear of being replaced. When fear leads effort, the body tightens and the mind never rests. Natural effort feels different. You do not need to motivate yourself to show up. You want to. Not because you are afraid of the outcome, but because being present feels right. Messages are not crafted, they are expressed. Time is not negotiated, it is offered. You do not feel like you are carrying the connection alone. There is rhythm. When one steps forward, the other meets them, without delay or confusion. When effort is aligned, there is no scoreboard. You are not counting who texted last, who gave more, who apologized first. Comparison disappears because the connection is not transactional. You give because giving does not cost you your peace. You receive without guilt because you are not surviving on crumbs. Another sign of natural effort is that boundaries do not feel like threats. You can say no without fear. You can ask for space without drama. Effort that is forced collapses when boundaries appear. Effort that is aligned respects structure. It understands that discipline is what allows closeness to last. Notice how you feel after putting in effort. Do you feel satisfied or resentful? Resentment is a sign of misalignment. It means you are giving from obligation, not choice. When the universe supports a connection, effort leaves you energized even when it is challenging. Growth requires work, but aligned work builds strength, not bitterness. There is also balance in responsiveness. You are not chasing silence. You are not carrying conversations alone. You do not feel invisible. Even when life becomes busy, effort does not vanish, it adapts. Communication remains clear. Intentions remain steady. This is not because both people are perfect, but because they are present. Many people confuse inconsistency with mystery. They mistake lack of effort for depth. They think if something is hard to reach, it must be valuable. This belief keeps them exhausted. The universe does not reward exhaustion. It rewards alignment. What is meant for you will not require you to abandon yourself to maintain it. Effort becomes simple when values are aligned. Respect makes effort clean. Patience makes effort sustainable. Integrity makes effort safe. Without these, effort becomes manipulation. With them, effort becomes service. You serve the connection because it also serves your growth. Sometimes effort feels heavy because you are trying to move something that is not ready or not meant to move with you. No amount of discipline can replace alignment. Discipline supports alignment, it does not create it. When you stop forcing effort, you make space for the universe to respond. Effort that is aligned does not demand proof. You do not need constant validation. You trust consistency over promises. Small actions repeated calmly carry more weight than grand gestures driven by fear. When the universe wants you to be with someone, you will still work, but you will not struggle, and that difference will be unmistakable. When the universe wants you to be With someone, timing becomes an ally instead of an enemy. Things unfold without you having to fight the current. This does not mean everything happens quickly or easily. It means the process does not break you. Many connections fail not because of lack of feeling, but because of misaligned timing. Desire may be present, but readiness is not. The universe never forces readiness. It waits until both people can meet from strength instead of need. Poor timing creates friction. You want clarity while the other avoids it. You are ready to commit while the other is still healing. One is building while the other is escaping. In these situations, you feel rushed and delayed at the same time. You push forward while being pulled back. This tension is not romantic. It is a signal. When timing is wrong, effort feels like pressure and patience feels like self-betrayal. Aligned timing feels different. There is space to breathe. You are not racing against fear of loss. You are not waiting in confusion. Progress happens in steps that feel appropriate. Even pauses make sense. Silence has context. Distance has explanation. You do not create stories to survive uncertainty, because the connection itself provides orientation. The universe uses timing to protect growth. It does not bring two people together to distract them from their work. It aligns paths when both have learned what they needed alone. It becomes a hiding place. You avoid your responsibilities through emotional attachment, or you delay commitment using ambition as an excuse. The universe disrupts these patterns by creating resistance. Delays increase. Confusion grows. This is not punishment, it is correction. Aligned timing also removes urgency. You do not feel like everything must be decided now. You trust that what is real will remain. Urgency is often fear wearing the mask of passion. Calm progression is a sign of alignment. Pay attention to how much you have to compromise your inner rhythm. If you are constantly adjusting your pace to match someone who is not ready, the universe is asking you to step back. Timing cannot be negotiated. It must be respected. Sometimes aligned timing means separation before union. Two people may meet briefly to recognize something important, then part ways to grow. When the time is right, they meet again from a different level of awareness. The universe is patient. It plays a long game. You know timing is right when you stop asking when. You focus on how you show up now. Presence replaces anticipation. You are not stuck in the future or the past. You are grounded in the moment. When the universe wants you to be with someone, you will not feel late or early. You will feel on time, and that feeling brings calm certainty without struggle. When the universe wants you to be with someone, their presence does not disturb your inner order. It settles it. This is one of the most honest signs, because the body responds before the mind can create stories. Anxiety is loud. Calm is quiet. And the universe speaks through what is quiet. Many people mistake emotional stimulation for connection. Their heart races, their thoughts scatter, and they call it chemistry. But what they are feeling is often uncertainty mixed with desire. The nervous system is on alert. It does not know if it is safe or threatened. That state cannot sustain closeness. It leads to obsession, attachment, and fear of loss. With the right presence, the body softens. Breathing deepens. You are not tense or guarded. You do not monitor every reaction. You can sit without speaking and still feel connected. This calm is not boredom, it is safety. Safety allows authenticity. Without safety, the mind performs and the heart hides. Notice how you feel before you see them. Are you anxious, rehearsing conversations, preparing defenses, managing expectations? Or are you neutral, grounded, open? Presence that brings calm does not require preparation. You arrive as you are. You do not brace yourself. You do not armor up. Another sign is how you handle disagreement. Calm presence allows conflict without destruction. You do not fear being honest. You do not escalate to protect your ego. Even when emotions rise, there is a baseline of respect. You recover quickly. This is because anxiety was not the foundation. Anxious connections create emotional addiction. You feel high when things go well and crushed when they do not. Calm connections create stability. Your mood does not depend on constant validation. You remain centered whether they are near or far. The universe does not align people through emotional volatility. It aligns them through regulation. Two regulated people can build something lasting. Two anxious people create cycles of intensity and collapse. Calm presence is not accidental. It is a sign of maturity meeting maturity. Pay attention to your thoughts when you are apart. Do you spiral into doubt imagining abandonment? Or do you trust the connection enough to focus on your life? Calm presence extends beyond physical proximity. It creates inner quiet even in absence. Many people avoid calm because it exposes them. Without anxiety, there is no distraction. You see clearly, you feel clearly. This can be uncomfortable if you are not used to stillness, but clarity is where real intimacy begins. Calm presence also respects silence. You do not fill every gap with words. You allow space. Silence is not interpreted as rejection. It is simply part of being. The universe uses silence to test alignment. If silence creates fear, something is unbalanced. When presence brings calm, you are not trying to be interesting. You are interested. You listen without planning responses. You observe without judgment. You share without over-explaining. This simplicity is strength. Anxiety asks, what does this mean? Calm says, be here. Anxiety demands reassurance. Calm trusts consistency. Anxiety rushes. Calm waits. If someone repeatedly triggers anxiety in you, it is not a sign to try harder. It is information. The universe communicates through the nervous system. Learn to listen. When the universe wants you to be with someone, you will feel calm in their presence, not because they complete you, but because they do not disrupt who you already are. When the universe wants you to be with someone, alignment shows itself through values, not through words. Words are easy. Anyone can promise loyalty, patience, growth, and understanding. But values are revealed only through consistent action, especially when it is inconvenient. This is why the universe tests connections through time and pressure. What remains steady under pressure is what is real. Many people listen too closely to what is said and ignore what is lived. They are persuaded by charm, intensity, and emotional declarations. But values do not announce themselves, they repeat quietly. They show up in small decisions, daily behavior, and the way someone treats what they cannot gain from. Aligned values create effort without friction. Respect makes communication clean. Discipline makes commitment stable. Integrity makes trust unnecessary because consistency speaks for itself. When values align, you do not need to negotiate basic decency. You do not have to explain why honesty matters or why boundaries are important. These things are understood without discussion. Notice how someone treats your time. Time is a value. Do they honor it or waste it? Notice how they handle responsibility. Do they follow through or avoid discomfort? Notice how they respond to your boundaries. Do they respect them or test them? These behaviors reveal alignment far more accurately than emotional language. When values are misaligned, you feel constant friction. You may like each other deeply, but you move in different directions. One values growth, the other comfort. One values discipline, the other avoidance. One values clarity, the other ambiguity. This creates a subtle drain. You are always adjusting, explaining, compromising parts of yourself to keep peace. That is not alignment. That is endurance. Aligned values reduce confusion. You trust intentions because actions confirm them. You do not guess where you stand. Even silence has integrity. Even distance is respectful. There is no need to decode behavior because it is consistent. The universe does not force alignment through attraction. Attraction brings attention. Alignment brings sustainability. Many connections start strong and collapse because values were never shared, only projected. People see what they want to see until reality requires choice. Values alignment also supports growth. You challenge each other without threat. Feedback is not taken as attack. Accountability is welcome, not resisted. This is because growth is a shared value, not a personal demand. Pay attention during difficulty. Stress reveals values clearly. When things become inconvenient, do they withdraw, become defensive, or stay present? Do they take responsibility or assign blame? These moments are not accidents. They are mirrors. When values align, effort feels fair. You do not feel like the responsible one all the time. You do not feel like the mature one carrying emotional weight. Balance emerges naturally because both people move from similar principles. Many people try to change others to match their values. This always fails. Values cannot be imposed, they must be lived. The universe separates people when values conflict, not to punish, but to prevent long-term suffering. Aligned values create trust without control. You do not monitor behavior. You do not fear betrayal constantly. You trust because you have evidence, not because you hope. If someone says the right things, but lives differently, believe the life, not the language. The universe communicates through patterns, not promises. When the universe wants you to be with someone, you will recognize alignment, not in what is said, but in what is done, and that recognition brings quiet certainty. When the universe wants you to be with someone, the connection does not make you smaller. It does not slowly drain your energy, confidence, or direction. Instead, it invites growth. Not comfort that keeps you the same, but growth that challenges you to become better without breaking you. This is an important distinction because many people stay in draining connections believing sacrifice is love. It is not. Drain is a sign of imbalance, not devotion. A connection that restricts growth often feels intense at first. You feel needed, wanted, essential. But over time you notice something subtle. Your world starts shrinking. You hesitate to pursue your goals because they might cause conflict. You silence parts of yourself to keep harmony. You delay progress to maintain closeness. This is not alignment. This is slow erosion. Growth-aligned connections feel different. They expand your capacity. You become more disciplined, more focused, more self-aware. The other person does not compete with your purpose. They respect it. Even when they do not fully understand your path, they do not try to block it. Support does not always mean agreement. Sometimes it simply means not standing in the way. Encouragement in aligned connections is not loud. It is consistent. You are reminded of your strength, not rescued from your challenges. You are not made dependent. You are made capable. The universe never binds two people through weakness. It connects them through shared strength. Notice how the connection affects your habits. Are you becoming more grounded or more distracted? Are you taking better care of yourself or neglecting your well-being? Growth shows up in routine. In sleep, focus, health, discipline. What is aligned supports structure. What is draining disrupts it. Growth also means accountability. In aligned connections, you are called out when you avoid responsibility. Not with aggression, but with clarity. This can be uncomfortable, but it is respectful. Someone who truly aligns with you does not let you abandon your values for temporary comfort. Draining connections avoid growth because growth threatens dependency. If one person grows while the other stays stagnant, imbalance appears. So stagnation is encouraged subtly. Dreams are minimized. Ambition is questioned. This often sounds like concern but feels like limitation. Aligned connections celebrate evolution, even when it changes the dynamic. There is no fear of outgrowing each other, because growth is mutual. When one rises, the other is inspired, not threatened. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. Do you feel guilty for choosing yourself? Do you feel selfish for needing space, focus, or rest? Or do you feel supported in honoring your limits? Growth requires space. Alignment respects that. Another sign is how conflict leads to insight rather than exhaustion. Draining connections repeat the same arguments with no learning. Growth-oriented connections evolve. Mistakes become lessons. Patterns change. This requires humility on both sides. The universe does not reward endurance of suffering. It rewards alignment with truth. If a connection consistently drains you, it is asking you to pay attention, not to try harder. Effort is not meant to compensate for misalignment. Growth also means freedom. Not freedom to escape responsibility, but freedom to express your full self. You are not reduced to a role. You are not boxed into expectations. You are seen as a whole evolving person. Sometimes growth-aligned connections do not last forever. But while they last, they leave you stronger, clearer, more self-respecting. They do not confuse you about your worth. They do not leave you empty. If you are constantly tired, emotionally confused, or shrinking, the universe is giving you feedback. Listen to it. When the universe wants you to be with someone, the connection will challenge you to grow without costing you yourself, and that balance is the sign to trust. When the universe wants you to be with someone, letting go does not feel like danger. It feels like trust. This is one of the deepest signs, and also the one most people resist. They believe holding tighter creates security. In reality, clinging is a response to fear. Trust is a response to alignment. If you are aligned, you do not grip the connection with desperation. You allow space, you allow movement. You allow life to unfold without constant control. This does not mean indifference. It means confidence. Confidence in yourself and confidence in what is meant to stay. When letting go feels unsafe, it is because something inside you does not trust the foundation. You fear that if you stop trying, it will disappear. You fear that if you rest, you will be replaced. That fear reveals imbalance. That the universe never asks you to exhaust yourself to keep what belongs with you. Aligned connections survive pauses. They survive silence. They survive uncertainty. You do not panic when communication slows. You do not spiral when distance appears. You remain steady because your sense of security is internal, not dependent on constant reassurance. Letting go also means releasing control over outcomes. You do not force timelines. You do not demand promises to calm anxiety. You allow the connection to reveal itself through consistency. This requires strength. Weakness clings. Strength allows. Many people confuse letting go with giving up. They are not the same. Giving up comes from hopelessness. Letting go comes from trust. When you let go, you are still present, but not attached to specific results. You engage fully, but you do not collapse if things change. The universe tests alignment by observing how you respond when you loosen your grip. If the connection deepens when you release control, it was aligned. If it disappears, it was sustained only by effort and fear. This is not loss. It is clarity. Letting go also applies to expectations. You stop projecting fantasies. You see the person as they are, not as you want them to be. This honesty creates peace. Attachment thrives on illusion. Alignment thrives on truth. Notice how you behave when you choose yourself. Do you fear punishment, abandonment, or guilt? Or do you feel supported even in independence? If choosing yourself threatens the connection, it was never balanced. In aligned connections, you can walk away emotionally without leaving physically. You can detach from outcomes while remaining engaged. This creates freedom. Freedom allows love to breathe. Suffocation kills it. Letting go also prepares you for any outcome. If the connection continues, you are grounded. If it ends, you are not shattered. You grieve, but you do not lose yourself. This resilience is a sign of alignment with your own values. The universe does not bind you to anyone through fear. It connects you through trust. Trust in timing. Trust in growth. Trust in truth. When trust is present, letting go becomes natural. Sometimes letting go is the final step before alignment completes itself. When you stop forcing, the universe can move freely. What stays, stays because it wants to, not because it is held. If you must suffer to keep someone, it is not alignment. If you must abandon yourself to maintain closeness, it is not meant. What is meant for you will not require constant guarding. Letting go is not the end of connection. It is the proof of it. When you can release your grip and still feel safe, you know the universe is holding what matters. As you walk away from these words, remember this truth. The universe is not confused, and it does not make mistakes. It guides through peace, effort that feels natural, right timing, calm presence, aligned values, growth, and the strength to let go without fear. When something is meant for you, it will never ask you to betray yourself to keep it. Choose clarity over chaos. Choose alignment over attachment. Trust what calms your spirit and strengthens your path. What belongs with you will meet you in stillness, not in struggle. I wish you strength, patience, and the wisdom to recognize what is truly meant for you. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for listening.